out all alone. Certain situations can be too difficult for me on my
Okay. I'm not. I mean, Let's start with you, Pastor Lewis. You've had the opportunity to work on a lot of music, to work with a lot of different artists. You've seen a lot of different vocal ability. Talk about Andrea Williams' vocal ability.
Well, growing up and hearing it all day, every day, since we were very young. Once she learned to talk, she learned to sing. And so everything we would say, she would sing it. And her daughter's here now, and I'm sure she still does that. But that, to me, that made her, or down through the years, a very well-rounded singer. And I believe she's coming to her own now as her own stylist as far as singing. That's what made me excited about producing this project for her. I watched her online. I forgot what I watched, some kind of live she was doing, and I heard that maturity, and I heard that, it just sounded like you had come into your own. And I was upset that you didn't have your own music. Remember I called you and I was like,
you did.
I was like, that was a letdown that you had to do covers and do other people's stuff. You were doing a good job, but I was like, nah, it just sounds like you need your own music. And I left it at that, and then you were like, well, I've been thinking about working on something, whatever, and I left it. And then finally you were like, will you do some music for me? And I was like, yeah, I have to be asked, you got to ask me. And I was like, yeah.
We hung up like 3 times, then finally, will you do my project?
Right. I just left it out there. And you didn't even know me and Roderick, your husband, we had already talked about it and decided on it. But yeah, seeing you perform those other songs, it was great. But I just felt like you need your own music. You just needed your own stuff. I'm excited about this project just because my sister's never done one, and we've been doing music for 30 years, 40 years. 30, 35, somewhere in there. And this is our first time actually doing an album and getting writers, PJ, Jermaine, just great music on here. So I'm just
so for you, Andrea, being a singer and having sang with other people and done other projects and things like that, and have seen your brother produce, and now you stepping out solo and working with him and his production. Talk about that.
I think it's great, and I blame him that it's taken this long. But it's all in time. I feel great about it because we've worked together so many years. So it's like I know his style and he knows my style. So it's an easy fix, even though we collide sometimes, but we're used to it. So it's not like we are surprised that we collide. It's that's how we bring out the best result, because we do what we do and we know that it works. So I feel amazing about it. I think I'm so godly proud, and I make my boasting in the Lord. I'm grateful to God, and I'm just so godly proud of this project.
So you use this project to not only step out as a singer, but also as a songwriter. Talk about that.
Yeah, so this is my debut. Growing up, I wasn't really a writer because I never really had to be. And I never, it didn't bother me. I think I wrote one song, and my brother, he used to tease me about it to this day.
I still remember.
He remembers it, and
it was pretty bad.
it wasn't that good. But on this project, I did have the opportunity to co-write Stand, so definitely check that cut out. It is a very unique piece on the CD, the album, which all the songs are unique, but this kind of has a guitar kind of rock feel to it, but the message is really strong. So I'm so proud to just be a part of my own project in writing, so that's different.
he knows your sound.
Yeah.
You know how he works together. So in choosing the music, was there ever any question? You just trusted that, he knows what song works best for my voice, or how did that go, pulling the music together for the project?
It was easy. It was easy. I mean, because he's written so many songs that he really didn't have to write a song. And I asked him, I want you to write such and such. I mean, he just pulled the songs out of the hat, and a couple of them I had recorded before or been familiar with, and I knew it would work. He knows my voice, so it was just an easy fix. And he knew the other producers, which are amazing. Their songs just fit right in the puzzle too. So, yeah.
And in some of the music that you chose for Andrea, some of the songs were very special for yourself, and you knew that she could deliver them. Songs such as Pray for America, songs such as The Prayer of Temptation. Talk about that.
Yeah, Andrea has always kind of been my, expression of music. I've written, we used to do choir stuff. We did choir recordings. Andrea would always sing like the most dramatic piece of whatever it was I was doing with the choir. And her and her husband, because they have their own ministry, she's not here. So we ended up doing a praise project on our own here at the church. And I wrote, some of the songs for that, which I didn't write. I had them already. I mean, I didn't write them recently. But I have a bunch of songs. And, but, when I really want to express something musically, Andrea's the go-to vocalist, because she's just gonna sing it. And I've always favored soprano lead singers. It's always just kind of been a thing for me. The old Yolanda Adams, when she was with Thomas Whitfield, that kind of sound was always something special to me. Even Shirley Murdoch, when she crossed over and kind of did some gospel stuff, just that sound, it's always been the instrument of choice for me to write with. And so that's why I was so really excited to pull out some of these songs, especially Sometimes, which is probably the most personal song on this album from me, because it's literally my testimony to this day. And so I wanted her voice to be the one to display the character of that song.
Or hear laughter in my voice. You may hear me sing a song when my hands raise to the Lord. Sometimes I'm down.
So you talked about how some of these songs are from years ago, songs that you had, but they still sound so relevant, and they speak to where we are right now. So I want you both to talk about the relevance of this project, because there are people who are going through things and they are becoming new. And you, especially as a pastor, how this project can be so impactful for a lot of people with what they're dealing with right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's so relevant. Just the song Pray for America. And I'm sure my brother tell you it was written, 25 years ago? Mm-hmm. Rodney King incident that happened. It was relevant then, and it's even more relevant now in what the climate of America right now. So I think that people will listen to that cut and just kind of relate to it, and that that's what we need to do. That's the time that we're living in.
How we need you. Pray for our country, yeah. Pray for
because of the climate, as the pandemic and everything changing, and I mean, everybody has like a new normal now. So we are literally becoming new. what we've known in the past is no longer. So, and I think us as just growing closer to God and knowing that He is Almighty, He's holy. That's another cut on the CD. Just being able to worship Him in all of His mightiness and awesomeness. I just think everybody is going to find something on the project that really resonates within them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. Pray for America, which almost didn't make it on the album,
Yeah.
and then we remembered it. I had done a project with my sister. I mean, it was just I was kind of messing around with a idea of doing some kind of socially significant songs that kind of dealt with just different things.
Right.
We did one about abortion. We did one about the race issue and all of that way back in the day, 25 years ago. And then the Rodney King incident happened. Somebody said it was 93 or something like that.
Yeah, 93.
1993.
Yeah.
And that's when I wrote Pray for America. And to pull that back out and read the lyrics and see just how relevant it is even to today is powerful. And I think this album, I've always been the type, I want every song to be a journey and every song to reach someone. And I don't want anything on the album that just sit there,
Right.
And I feel like, kind of going back to one of the other questions, I feel like the timing of doing this is not just, perfect for Andrea, vocally, where she is vocally, where she is in her life, and, what she's trying to accomplish at this point in her life. It's definitely relevant to that. But for me, the timing is, this is the first time really in my life where I'm a kid in the candy store. I mean, I have, I just have access to absolutely everything that I need to make anything happen.
Anything.
I mean, anything happen. Musically, anything. And with the church, with this ministry, with all these guys that God has put in my life and literally planted in my life that are just, we all think the same. We formed this thread where we just talking, and I had Andrea on it with all my band members and musicians and stuff. Everybody's crazy. But she mentioned, she was like, this is just a trip how all of y'all think the same. And we do. It's like we're all on the same page. We all want the same thing. Everything to be done to the glory and honor of God and the talent that He's given us. We want to present that as a gift unto the Lord. A lot of people like to talk about, I don't mean to preach, but a lot of people like to talk about the Lord gave me this and gave me that. But what have we given the Lord? And that's what we do here.
Yeah.
I don't believe music is a gift. I believe it is something that we offer as a gift. And so that's the spin we put on it. That's how we function. And so now when she came, I was like, and I kept telling her, I got it. And she was like, well, what about it? I was like, we got it. And even branching out from this group we have here at ABC, we can just reach out and pick up the phone. We had Darius James and his sister just come and do background. I got my son Cameron in Chicago. He did background on it. Wendell, I can reach out and always get Wendell. And then of course Levi 2 King up in St. Louis. He just, when he gets it, he knows exactly what to do. Yeah. And I mean, so God has just brought us to a place where it was time, because there was nothing we needed to make this project as good as it is. And I don't believe it could have been any better.
You are holy, holy, awesome, holy. You are holy, holy, holy are you, Lord. You are holy, you're so holy, God. Nobody greater.
So that's a perfect lead into my final question, and I share this to Andrea. So what do you want people to walk away with when they experience this project? Because we know it's not about the spins, it's not about the numbers, it's not about any of that. What do you want them to walk away with?
I want everybody that listens, I want them to be blessed by the lyrics, the message. Every song has a strong message. It's not anything that you can need to skip past and don't get something. Every song has its own message, and it just flows in such a amazing format. So I want them to walk away uplifted. I want them to walk away just kind of thinking about their life and reflecting and giving God praise and glory. And I believe that the whole CD will walk you through that journey of self-reflection, of giving God praise, of just looking at the time that we're in and just thanking God that we're still here. So I just want them to walk away with the message in the music. And the message is in the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's some good music too.
Yeah.
So I want people to really hear the vocal ability of my sister and her expression musically, and then the expression of the musicians. I mean, we have a couple of songs, Stand and Believe, that our band, ABC band, actually played and killed. These dudes can play. So, and then even the bass player on Becoming New came in, and our bass player, and he just did his thing. And so musically it'll get the musicians, and lyrically it'll get the lyricists. Yeah. But I believe overall, spiritually, it has a great spiritual tone to it, where it's uplifting. And then by the time you get to the end, the prayer of temptation, you got a full prayer set to music that could help you in your day-to-day walk. So
just repent at the end.
Repent.
My God.
If you dance too hard or believe, right after it go off, you can. If believe took you too far back, you can get prayer for the temptation and just pray your way on back in the fold.
I know y'all hate answering this question. I don't care. I'm going to ask you. It's going to be on video. So, what's your favorite song on the project?
Why is that always a question? I don't have a favorite song. I have a favorite. Well, I do. I have a favorite song each week. I do. As I'm riding around, I have a favorite song. For a couple of hours, I might have a favorite song because because it's so lyrically sound, it just touches you where it needs to touch you. So it just keeps changing every day. I have a favorite song, a different favorite song. I know.
Every hour, my favorite song changes. Like, seriously, it just depends on what kind of day I'm having, what mood I'm in. And that be just because my favorite song of that hour. Yeah,
it's just like that. And I think that's a good thing.
It's timeless.
I ask people all the time, I ask them after they got it, what was your favorite song? And I hear this one, and then I say, well, no, you ask them later, it's something else. When I really checked out this, man, this is the sleeper. That's what everybody always say now. This is the sleeper right here.
Yeah.
And, so it's just one of those projects. I think it's well-rounded.
The question is, your favorite studio moment?
While we were recording the album? I think it was when my mama got sick. And we just could not see eye to eye on how that situation should have been handled. So we kind of got into it pretty intensely, and poor Rob sounds like Rob, the greatest engineer ever to be. I mean, he's such an asset here at the ministry. Those of you that watch the videos, he's the floating camera guy. He just does everything with excellence. But he was sitting in here on that mixing board while we were going back and forth, and I mean, he didn't know whether he should call the cops or call.
All you can hear is, you ain't taking my mama to the hospital.
You know they gonna put on that ventilator. We was in here just. And then after that, we finished the song. And I think I jumped in my car and headed to my mom's, and I just jumped in her car and followed. And she trying to beat me there, and I mean, it was really.
It was a reality show. It really was, and I hate that cameras were not following. It was so ridiculous.
That was funny, but Rob, he sat there with the headphones, and he's looking at one moment. He looked back, he's like, "You think I need to leave?" I said, "No, Rob, you stay right there. We ain't gonna let the devil come in here and stop this. God is doing this." And so it was.
God was not doing all that.
But that was the funny. To me, that was the funniest.
That was most memorable.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, the funny thing is, we'll come in right after that, and then finish what we got to do.
Finish the
It's
album
no-
and bless everybody.
and
I mean, that's
that's
just.
it. It's just what we do.
So was there one song that maybe you just had a little challenge coming together on? It was going in one direction.
Oh God.
All of them?
Yeah, quite a bit. In particular, "Stand," the song that I wrote, it had some great. I mean, and you'll see it. You won't believe this once you listen to it. But it's just coming together. Everything in my head and everything that I wanted to convey vocally, it was not always feasible or.
I wanted to
I
cut
don't
it. I just kept telling her, we need to cut this.
And I kept telling him, no, we're not cutting it. This is going to be one of the greatest songs on the project.
And I kept saying no. I had no faith. I didn't have no mustard seed, nothing in that song. And then PJ said, well, let's add live music to it.
Yeah.
And so they recorded the live music, and it made it worse. Because we didn't have the right equipment, I guess, to do the drums right at the time. Because we didn't want to do the drums that are in here in the studio. We wanted to do the stage drum. And it still didn't happen right, but vocally she was sounding great, and PJ did the little chorus in it. And so it started sounding really good vocally, but the music was just kind of, but I had faith in Levi. There was something else we did to save that thing.
And at the end, I had the bright idea of just turning into a worship at the end, and him and PJ was like, no, this is not working. PJ was on the keyboard, and I was trying to tell them, let's go into this worship at the end. And they was looking at me
on a
like,
rock song. I said, no, Andrea, you stay in your lane. You stay over there and sing.
But
you
live,
let us handle
you
it.
wait. Oh, we going in. You hear me?
Let us handle it. Oh, I know. We added the ooze, and so the ooze saved it. I mean, it didn't save it. The ooze enhanced it.
It did.
The
It made
ooh,
it
that gave it like a
life, and it made
it
it
gave
lift.
it gave it character. When I heard that, I said, okay, this might work. We sent it to Levi, and Levi was able to do some triggers with the drums to make the drums sound like they were supposed to sound. Because our drummer is awesome.
Yeah.
You got to give him the right equipment. I mean, you don't buy the right stuff, ain't nobody good. So that day he said they were tired, so they didn't want to turn on something in there. They didn't want to do nothing. They half did it because nobody had faith in the song. Everybody was like just half doing it because it wasn't their own song. You know how you do when it's your song.
Yeah.
And she wasn't here, so they was just treating it like an old stepchild.
Oh,
like,
but now.
But
Oh, my God.
once it came together, okay. All right.
Oh, my God.
But once it came together, Levi was able to do that. And then we brought Corey in on the guitar.
Oh.
And that was it. Once Corey came in and the drums were right, the song came together, and man, it's one of my favorite songs now.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's the best song on the project.
Kids love it. Young kids love it because they tell me it sounds like a video game.
The little kids love it.
They say it sounds like a video game song.
They
So
love
I
it.
just
Yeah. So I'm so glad we didn't cut that one.
Yeah.
It was another one.
one of them did get cut.
Yeah, well, no.
I told you from the beginning I'm cutting that down, and it ain't on there. We don't even need to speak of it.
But it was on our project too. It's coming. I promise it's gonna
in
be
the
number
trash
one.
on the computer. You know how you drag stuff to
No,
that trash on the computer? We drug it to the
Oh,
trash.
but it's gonna be resurrected. Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
But all the rest of them were pretty much, I knew she was gonna nail them. And I will say this in her defense, it is a lot different when you're working with producers and their own songs. So Brian and Jay Brian had his song. He already had Brian doing it. He knew what she could do, so he catered it around what she can do. Mm-hmm. Sometimes my songs, the four I did on there was the same way. And then PJ, he knew as soon as I called him, I was like, hey man, let's go on and do my sister's project. He wrote some stuff catering to her. So all of it was catered to her, so there wasn't like no experiment. We knew what would work and what wouldn't. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to you and yours, it was the whole thing was kind of like pieced together because this was just new territory.
Yeah, yeah.
So you mentioned about project number 2, which was going to be my question. Now that you've worked past all the waves,
Can we wait and see if the world is gonna end?
They're gonna love
ask
it.
the question. Just make it stop.
you face temptation, all you have to do is say this prayer.